What's up, preppers? How's it do? How you doing this evening? It's Friday night. We're live. How is everyone? Let me know if you can hear me. Give me a 5x5, as they say, to let me know you can see and hear me. Okay, and then we'll start. Don't really want to say hello to anyone unless I know you can hear me first. Anyone, feel free in the comments. Can you hear me? Yes, there we go. Dartmoor. Thank you very much. Just shows how much delay there is between this going out and you seeing. Cheers, Miss Worm. All good, all good. Excellent. Right, so in the chat we have Elusive Dartmoor. How you doing? Miss Worm's in there, moderating everybody as usual. Sam Wills, is in there. He's a member. NJ660 says hi, everyone. And the 30th Spartan. I love that name, the 30th Spartan. All good. Robert Foster, Lady J, and Dino K today. How are you all doing? Excellent. I'm glad you're all here. No script, no specific plan. I just felt like, I wanted to go live and talk about all the crap that's going on in the world. So this is on you guys. Feel free to chat away, ask anything in the comments you want to, or anything that's been bugging you. I am going to say, I'm going to start off with somebody asked me something in the post. Where is it? It's gone. There you go. Sam Wills, who's in here as well, said lots of preppers mentioning they're upping their preps due to the current uncertainty. Besides food/water, would you be adding extra right now to your preps? Yeah, I wanted to pull this one up to kind of explain what I'm doing, and because I did an update video the other day explaining everything, I didn't really go into the whys, I suppose. They've got the general debate going on for the UN. That runs on through Saturday and will conclude on Monday, the 30th September. If things are going to escalate, it's going to be after this, shortly after this, because you saw what Lamy said, calling Russia a mafia nation, calling out Putin. Places like Iran are not going to do anything because they're traveling at the moment. All the different world leaders are overseas. So until they all go back, it's like the calm before the potential storm. And it's just with the state of the world, everything's going on, and this constant saber rattling. I tend to tune a lot of it out because we know there's a lot of fearmongers out there, but it's just got me reassessing my own preps. And I know it still looks a bit like chaos behind me, but trust me, that's improved. And the prep room upstairs has been completely done out because I've got a storage unit for extra stuff as well. So I really have doubled or tripled up on my preps, and it's all down to this uncertainty that not just the world is providing, but this current government is providing for me. And there's a definite chance of an economic downturn. That's 100%. Whether we get World War III is, neither here or there. If you're prepping for something that's definite, I think the country's going down the pan, personally. But anyway, that's just me. And to answer the question, Sam Wills, in fear of sounding like your average American prepper, ammo. If you have a crossbow pistol, bolts, anything like that, hunting in an SHTF situation is going to be a massive learning curve for a lot of people if they've never done it or they've only ever used targets and things like that. So in excess of arrows and things like that, if that's what you're going to use, I would highly recommend. Other than that, it's all food, water, sanitary products. Think about your toilets and stuff like that. The power goes out, you can't flush the toilet after a while. Just think about all that side of things. Yeah. So let me pop that off the screen now. Boom. Get rid of that. There we go. Let's have a look at the comments, see what he's saying. The Rainers says, IOSAT radiation tablets. I bought 10 packets from the USA. Yes, I've got them right here. There's some here somewhere. I've just seen them while I was sorting out. But yeah, that is one thing. Rainers makes a good point. He's mentioned the radiation tablets. You can get them off Amazon. They're not that expensive. Or you can get military spec ones. You can get them from ex-army places. One thing I have prepped is anyone who's seen my medical kit before will know that that's now even more packed out. So all the consumables in my medical kit I've started to increase, and trauma bandages, things like that. So I can't see you. Where are you? Over there. I thought you were stood behind my light. Have an invader. Yeah, so medical supplies, definitely something you need to stock up on more than anything else. I'm currently upping my water storage. Most important prep, I think. Yes, rods I got from the auctions, much to my partner's dismay because she had to go and collect it, a water tank, a large water tank, which is going into the prep room, which is going to have valves on to circulate water through it while we still have water, and then store water if it ever comes to it. So yeah, that was a cool prep, and it only cost me a couple of quid at an auction because nobody bid on it.
Yeah, you lied. It's only this big.
Yeah. Men always say it's only this big. You should have expected. Well, no, you would have expected smaller in that case. Anyway, stop distracting. Elusive Dartmoor Mike, part of my prep is keeping fit and going out doing videos, camps, etc. in bad weather, good practice. How's your fitness going? It's all planned. It's all in motion. As I mentioned on my update the other day, I'm halfway through the application process for the military. Because I've been in before, I've got to print off a declaration of when I left and sign that and send it back to them. So it's a bit of I've hit a bit of a wall till I can get that printed off. So that should be sorted this weekend. I've got an army fitness book, which if you saw my hike video, the second Army Navy Star I went into, the owner of that gave it me. And it's the current issue of military fitness and how to get up to scratch, blah, blah, blah. So I'm kind of following that. So whereas I used to be a bit of a gym nut, it's more outdoors, running, walking, hiking. So it's that kind of fitness I'm doing now. Cheers for that, Elusive. Anyone who's not subscribed, go and subscribe to Elusive Dartmoor as well. Has some cool outdoor videos and much more coming soon, I'm sure. Iceland has some great prices on bulk buys. Yes, Food Warehouse is not bad, but yeah, if you go in bulk buys, I would generally, it doesn't take anything at all to get a Costco card or a Booker's card these days, and you can get from the wholesale. So, Miss Worm says plastic bags needed for sanitation, etc., as well as everything else. Yes. Think of where number 2s are going to go. Always. Dental kit, Stephen Garrett. That's a very good one. I think I've shown in a video before. I think it was my top 10 things that people don't think of, and it was like a dental filler stuff for that. Yes, Miss Worm. Lammy is thick, nutter. It's embarrassing we've got him in the government. Yes, tell me about it. Excellent. Right. Angela Connis. How are you doing, Angela? Evening all. Just canned 11 litres of chicken stock. Tomorrow, 4 kilograms of mince, 1 kilogram of beef stew is in the canner. Sunday, and the dehydrator is coming out. I've just got a new pressure cooker that I want to try and do the canning in. I was always too scared to do it in my Food Ninja because I use it for everything. But I've got a separate one now. So I'm going to try my hand at canning. Now, I've never done this before, so it's going to be a new thing. So I'm definitely taking you along for the journey. I'm sure there'll be explosions and all sorts. Just having a scan through quickly. My prep during the last week was pressing some apples for some cider, enjoying some pumpkins off the allotment for a few meals this week. Nice. Do you know what? I've never eaten pumpkin. I tell a lie. I've had canned pumpkin when I was on keto because you could make cupcakes out of it, but only mixed with loads of other ingredients. Never tried it on its own. Right. Anyway, back into the comments here. Ready Prepper One said, here's one, Mike. When preppers go dark, is it time to worry? Now, I've said this all along. When you have these fear-mongering, we all know who they are, right? We don't need to name names, I'm sure. We don't need to say Canadian Prepper and Funky Prepper and stuff like that. You know, we don't name anyone. But we've seen these fear-mongering videos, and it's something different every other day. Immigrants are taking over the world. The government's taking over the world. The Russians are taking over the world. It's happening every single day. But there's a good point. Like, if these guys were really in the know, if something was actually happening, as in things were in the air, things were on the way, do you think they would stop, edit a thumbnail, edit a video, upload it, do all the tags, monetize it, you know, so they can get that bit of revenue, and then post it? No, definitely not. So yeah, I would say it's a good indicator if you follow these channels that we all love, you know, love to hate and hate to love, and they all stopped posting like for a couple of days, I think, yeah, that would send alarm bells for me, definitely. I did say when it came to the solar monitoring, because I still do it, it's still happening. I just don't put it live all the time because unless something's happening, we'll get some sort of warning with that. Obviously, we'll see the flare, the meters will go off the scale, blah, blah, blah. I've said the last thing I will do is come live on here and say, this is happening, get shit in your Faraday cage. I'm not going to monetize it because I ain't going to get it. If it was that scale, the last thing I would do was try and warn you. You'd like to think most prepper YouTubers would do something similar. If they had real credible intel, they'd warn people quickly, hopefully. Anyway, good question, Ready Prepper One. Thank you for that one. Right. Also, oh, did you see about the ship that's off the coast? Anyone down south? Anyone near Kent? Who's a Kent in the chat? You know, I am pronouncing that right. Kent. Anyone from Kent area? Anyway, there is a vessel, a Maltese flagged tug, has travelled all the way down from the Arctic Ocean, seeking a safe port, and the cargo is tons of, what is it now? I've lost the notes. It's basically ammonium nitrate, but it's 7 times the amount of ammonium nitrate that caused the Beirut explosion. So if anyone doesn't remember, that was on the news quite a while ago. I can't remember the year, but this was 4 years ago, it's saying on Reuters there. But this was the explosion caused by it, and it sent this massive shockwave. If you remember the footage of the videos of people filming it, knocked windows out and everything. The ship that's off the coast of Kent now, that's apparently a Russian ship, has 7 times the amount of ammonium nitrate than what was caused this. That's insane, right? So yeah, be careful near the coastline. And obviously we know Putin's outright threatened the UK now, as well as his staff members. One of the ex-presidents said that England will be sunk within 3 years, and if it needed help from their missiles, so be it. So yeah, that was interesting. But now we're releasing Storm Shadow missiles to be used. As soon as they are, we could see the retaliation on us. Not trying to fearmonger, just trying to wake a few people up and start thinking a bit more seriously about this prep inside. I've just bought a water tester You can check your water instantly. This is the product I bought. I don't work for them or have any links, just a great product. Interesting. Kakatli 6-in-1 drinking water analyzer bacteria virus microplastic. Interesting. I'll have a I'll star that and I'll check that out, Rainers. Thank you for that one. Cheers, Ready Prepper One. It says canning on it, Angela. It does say it's one of the. It's oh crap, what's it called? It's a crockpot one. It's a good brand, but it says canning is one of the settings on it. So I definitely know it does it. So hopefully, won't blow myself up. Send me an email, Angela, and I can tap you up for advice in the process. Elusive Dartmoor, have you thought of growing your own fruit and veg? I do have apple trees and cherry. Yes, thought about it constantly. If you saw my trip to the Black Country Museum, the gardens on the cottages there I was envious of, and that's one of the things I'm looking for. We are still looking to move. It all kind of got put on the back burner with the sudden having to pay for a new clutch and stuff like that and everything. So it's probably going to be after Christmas now. So as long as SHTF doesn't happen, yes, growing food will be on the agenda then. And I know you can do small pots, but generally you cannot swing a cat in my house. Yes, definitely. It is, but there's always some little truths to be found in between media stories. West Sussex here, says Miss Worm. Good evening, all. Not to mention that's in the area with the World War II Montgomery wreck with all its old explosives. Interesting. That could definitely add fuel to that bonfire, Jennifer. Thanks for that one. Miss Worm doesn't do sarcasm. There you go. The Instapot Pro with canning function. That's what it is. The Instapot Pro. There we go. It's red and shiny. There you go. That's my knowledge of it. Currently looking into backup power. Same here. I'm looking into solar at the moment because I'm looking at moving. I don't want to do anything permanent on this house, but I'm looking at a solar rig that I can run lights off just from the window, so I can hang like solar panels just out the side just to run basic low power LEDs off if need be. So just getting a start with that one. Learner Prepper 1963 said, if you're on holiday and SHTF happens, what do you do? Well, this is it. This is why I've always said prepping is mostly here. Yeah. All stuff is a bonus. Yeah. Hopefully you're on holiday somewhere you can take your EDC if you have an EDC, or ideally you're in your own vehicle and you have some sort of get home bag in your vehicle. So hopefully you've got something, but if not, it's all about a mindset, right? If you're on holiday with your family and you're very far from a home location, you might have to cut your losses and think, right, I'm just gonna have to set up somewhere here now where it can be safe. If you can reach home, obviously you want to get home. That's going to be your first priority. But yeah, it depends. All depends on the situation. If you're abroad, it's a whole other thing, because no doubt you wouldn't have been able to take your EDC on a plane, and you're at the mercy of a foreign country. So yeah, that's a very scary situation to be in. And I don't want to put anyone off or scare anyone, but I think personally for me, I wouldn't be taking a holiday abroad right now. Brian went to America recently, and he's braver than me, because I genuinely don't think the current state of the world I'd be comfortable flying anywhere. Hopefully in a few months' time it'll calm down a bit and that won't be the case, but right now, yeah, I would just avoid a holiday altogether personally. Stuart Lonnan said, "Did you ever watch the National Geographic UK Preppers and UK Preppers 2 documentaries?" Yes, I did. And like with all them things, they had to have the dramatic music and the little snippets and paint us all to be crazy people, as they do. But there was some decent people on there. There was some absolute idiots on there who I just don't like at all. I'm not going to name any names, but he knows who he is. But yeah, there's some people on there that made a lot of sense. There's a Scottish guy that is all about not spending money on preps and just working with like primitive tools and stuff. And I thought that's an awesome skill to have. Great mentality. So yeah, I did watch them, laughed at them. Jonathan says, "Hi Mike, how are you getting on with Prepper Meet in Wales next year?" I need to catch up with the guys in Liverpool who I'm organising it with, because I don't know what's happening yet. So Panda Outdoors and Gorilla Outdoors from Instagram, both of them are helping me to get that one off the ground. It's Panda's originally. Panda's done it before, so he's the man to go to on that. So I will let you know as soon as I know more about that. The Scottish one is all booked, ready to go. We've got demonstrations from several different people. As you can get involved with that as much as you want. You come along, watch a demonstration. You can not. It's entirely up to you what you do. You can just come and camp for cheap for 2 days if that's what you really want to do. But yeah, we've got loads of stuff going on for the Scottish one. So hopefully the Wales one will be the same once we get it sorted. And I've been assured by the Midlands guys there's another one in the pipeline as well. So as soon as I have more intel, I'll get that to you. So the idea is we want meets all over the place. Not everyone has to travel to South Wales once a year to be ignored. We want good social meets all over the country so you can start meeting people, not just who are preppers, but people who are in your area as well. Hope nothing happens. Me too, Roland. Me too. Hi, Kelly. How you doing? Stephen just says spam. Okay. I'm in Germany right now. My biggest fear was it starts when I'm away from my preps. Yeah, that's pretty much what he was saying, like being on holiday. But you do have family there, right? Though, so you have got more of a foothold than people who'd just be on holiday there, at least. What's going on? Oh, I don't know what's happening. That's it. I'm out the chat. It's not happening. Anyway, back to the SHing the fan. Terrible news as well about Dame Maggie Smith. That's a tragic loss. I mean, she's had really good years. It's not like she's died tragically young, but what an incredible actress. Yeah, she'll be sadly missed. Just had to mention that there. Yeah, Beirut's been rocked by loads of blasts. Israel attacking Hezbollah. I think Netanyahu's gone a bit nuts. I fully support him defending himself, but I think he's just now got the taste for war and he's just going to get everyone. But yeah, also any of our American friends in, I hope they are, let us know how you're doing with the storms, because Monkey Wrench, who has been on the podcast before, that's his channel at Monkey Wrench, he's in Florida. He said Hurricane Helene off the coast as I type power outages all over the state. In a few hours, it's going to destroy a city. This is why I prep. We have power and food and entertainment. Not much of a different day for us. Good luck in the reserves. I'll be watching Old Man. No, less of the Old Man, but yeah. So Monkey Wrench is over there. I mean, I don't know what state he's in. He's probably not enjoying himself as much as this guy seems to be enjoying himself. I mean, if you've got it right. Whose preps include kayak in the house? Put your hands up. Bet he didn't think of that one. Bet he didn't think he'd ever need that one. But yeah, it's absolutely insane this at the moment. This is just off the coast of Florida. This is the real reason to prep if you are anywhere that suffers things like this. Anywhere that's susceptible, even in the UK, we're susceptible to bad weather, right? But if you live on a coastal area and you don't prep for a flood, well, you just have to see. Absolutely insane. What's going on here in the chat? I hope you've stopped talking about tall skin. Stephen said that spam tastes like tall skin. Where are you buying your spam from, Stephen? That's clearly a man who's never had a spam fritter from the fish and chip shop. Oh. It's criminal. It's criminal. I hope Miss Worms disciplined him in the chat. I remember them. I remember seeing they were like an as seen on TV product, weren't they? Like a white dome with the metal thing. Just basically like a cheese grater for your feet, right? Very unfortunate name. I thought about doing a foraging course, learning how to use a furnace to make knives or other equipment. Yeah, Scottish Prepper 73's done the been to one of these forge lessons things where you forge your own knife and stuff. And to be honest, I found one where you can do it for wedding rings and stuff, so it's cool. I might do it, but I'm not sure. I've probably convinced her in the next house that we can grow food and we can have a storage, and I can even possibly build something underground if we have a basement. If I start telling her I'm going to build a forge in the house, it's just not going to happen. I'm just not going to happen. But yeah, foraging courses, I might go on one of those. It might be interesting, but I would literally just get that little book that says food for free, and just every time you go out for a walk, try it, practice it, find it, identify it, eat it with caution. Can we stop talking about eating tall skin, please? You're all gross. Great investment for foldable. A Fallbot is a great investment for a foldable kayak. There you go. $45 watching, only 15 likes. Who are these 30 miserable blighters? He's alive! He's alive! Monkey Wrench is alive. Is the storm passing you, Monkey Wrench? Last time I saw the maps, it was kind of going up. It was heading north. Are you out of the worst of it now? Please let us know in the chat how you're doing. I did just post your comment on there for what you were saying the other day. Hey, Lee. Lee's in the house. Lee Prophet, how you doing? There you go. We're all good. One broken window and the fence blew down, but all good. There you go. There you go. Yeah, we've been clear since 2 a.m. Awesome. Primitive skills are essential. Yeah. definitely. I mean, the skill side of things. I mean, when somebody asked the question before about what would you prep more, because I said I'm be doubling up my preps, and it doesn't mean just going buying 10 times as much pasta. I think the skills thing can never be overlooked. Taking up a course, I'm going to be doing an archery course I've done it in the past, but it's been a long time, so I thought I want to do that. Obviously, I'm rejoining the reserve army. There's lots of skills to be learned there, take advantage of. And the people that say, right, so let me just clarify this for everyone, because I got some hate in that video when I said that I was joining. Somebody even said you're not a real prepper if you're going to join the reserves, which was quite an interesting comment. But you've got to think about it from a logical perspective. The reserves are only ever called up to action, like fully mobilized, if the shit truly has hit the fan. If it is literally World War III and threatening our sovereign country, that's the only time they're going to get called up. Now, they get mobilized a lot on a volunteer basis. Lots of people in the reserves volunteer to go and be stationed and go out to different places, and they'll ask for volunteers for things. But to be actually mobilized, like by force, by order, it would have to be a close to end of the world scenario. That's when that level of call up is going to be, just before the draft. So I see more benefits in joining. I get more access to things. I get more training. I get more skills. I get to dust off old skills. And let's be fair, if it really did hit the fan, I'll have access to a bit more equipment that I could then take home with me if I needed to. And we won't go into more detail on that, but I see more pros to this than cons, including the fitness side. So yeah, all you haters, hate away. I've assessed everything. I've weighed it all up, and I think it's the right decision. So if you don't think so, bite me. That's all I have to say about that. Angela Connis says, if anyone wants advice about canning, I'll post an email in the comments. Those Instapots are not approved for pressure canning, as they cannot regulate the pressure, but are okay for water bath canning. Interesting. Yes, thank you for that. I'll definitely tapping you up for some information there. Worth using your farm shop and getting to know those who run it. Yeah, definitely, 100%. I'd recommend that even in peace times. Support your local farmers, support small businesses all the time. Spent the day helping them clear away debris, but thankfully we were not in the front of it, so everyone is okay. I would definitely help when needed. Yeah, excellent. Hey Nelly, how you doing? Oh, Steve's in the house. Everyone's coming late to this party. How are you going, Steve? There you go. There's Steve's channel. Miss Worm on the point there. I mean, you're all joining, but I'm pretty much at the end of my comments and notes and questions, I think. Let me just double check. Yeah. Oh, I did want to mention tomorrow I am recording with my good friend Ration Nerd again. I'm going to do a prepper podcast. It's going to be a special one, though. It's not going to be about rations, even though it's with the Ration Nerd. It's going to be about American politics, and it's going to be about all the potential situations that could arise from that. So, yeah, that should be an interesting one. An American trying to teach us Brits about their politics over there. So that should be live this weekend. So make sure you check that one out. That's it. Skills: first aid, emergency car maintenance, DIY, firefighting. I offered a first aid / fire warden course at work. Take it. Yeah, if offered, yeah. The skills are worth having in the background. Definitely listen, even if you don't get offered it, ask your HR. If you're at a decent workplace and you've got a HR department, ask about first aid training, ask about the fire safety stuff. You know, they'll think you're nuts because they struggle to get volunteers half the time. But yeah, definitely. If somebody else is going to pay for it, get on every course you can possibly get on. And now's the time to do it. And plus, if it's done by your work, usually you do it in working time. So that's a bonus, right? Putting the gov aside, Mike, I think it's a good idea for you signed up. Part-time training, maybe get some info ahead of time, helps with health and gives access to equipment you may need in SHTF. Exactly, 100%. I mean, I couldn't have said that better myself. Monkey wrench, that is exactly my thinking. And you swear allegiance to king and country, not to an elected politician who, at the end of the day, is just a civilian. So people that think you're going to bow and do all the whims of some absolute idiot, I don't think Kia's got that kind of power, even if he thinks he has. Yeah, but all of them call-ups, Stephen, for Afghan and the Gulf Wars, they were all still voluntary. The TA, when the TA did that, and a lot of the TA went to the Falklands as well, it was still on a voluntary basis at that stage. It's never had to be the case where they're forced to take it up. So they strongly urge you to volunteer. So that is still a personal choice. Thank you, Steve. Much appreciated. Thank you for your support. Most Americans don't even know how iGov works. I will be watching. Well, I'm hoping Ration Nerd does know his stuff, because otherwise it's just going to be both of us going like this. That'll be the thumbnail. What time and day does that go out? I always miss it. Well, I'm recording with him because of obviously we have a time difference. I'm going to be recording it early with him, so it'll go out as a premiere at about 8 o'clock tomorrow, hopefully, if all goes well. 8 p.m. UK time. Hey, Brian, late to the party. How y'all doing? Don't post his channel. He's only turned up for the last 2 minutes. Shocking. Didn't the MP? That's just in the force, not the Queen. Yes, in a way, but it's got to go through Parliament, and it's, you know, there's lots of politics involved. If it was just Margaret Thatcher saying send the forces and nobody else agreed with it, then it wouldn't have happened. Yeah, lots of boxes had to be ticked. Free the sausages. Free the sausages. I still can't believe they've not freed them sausages. Yep, he is the commander of everything, I suppose. So it does have to go through them channels, like you say, the tick boxes. But yeah, by the time I get through selection and basic and secondary, I don't think Keir Starmer will still be in power by then. Do you? Do you honestly think he's got another 6 months in him? Scandals galore. Unless there's an event that calls for emergency laws. True, yeah, things can always change. But, you know, if it got to that point, KK, if it got to that point and it was really SHTF and they did want to send me somewhere that I didn't want to go and I'd rather protect my family, I would leave, AWOL, whatever. You know, if it was truly at that stage, it'd be without rule of law anyway. But I don't think it would ever get to that. It would be a case of if you turned up, they would take you if you didn't turn up. They haven't got time to chase you down. Just admitted to yet another 16k worth of clothes. Jesus, honestly. There's me struggling to afford matching socks. I should have been a politician. What if there was an event like Ukraine, like power station being hit? What would the situation be across Europe? Do you mean so like the power shortages across the entire continent? Is that what we're talking about here? I mean, my preps are centered around the knock-on effects of that war spreading across Europe. Not many of the preps are based on a war breaking out on this soil. Because let's be fair, if that happened, suddenly your couple of crossbows and your machete is going to be no good to you against all that. So, I mean, that's just ridiculous to think you could become Rambo against an army invading. So my preps are centered around the knock-on effects of war, fuel shortages, power shortages, food shortages, things like that. So, yeah. Absent without leave. Absent without leave, but with ammo. I've never been able to afford socks at all. I think he means a nuke station being hit. So the fallout you're talking about, yeah. Well, again, I think Brian answered you. I think we discussed it before. Fallout, you can protect against fallout. Stay in the most center part of your building, block windows and doors, stuff like that. Fallout, the effects of fallout do subside very quickly. Make sure you've got at least 2 or 3 weeks worth of food and stuff and water in the house. Make sure it's stored water. Don't drink it from the taps. Anything that could potentially be contaminated, and yeah, take your radiation tablets, things like that. But yeah, if it's somewhere and you can know which way the winds are coming and it's on the way, bug out is a potential. So if you've got a safe place to bug out to in time. The panic in the media, we wouldn't know about it until it happened. They wouldn't hype nothing. John C says cyber attack more likely on the grid. Yeah, there you go. I mean, but all them preps tick all them boxes. That's the best thing about it. Sock knitting is an underrated skill. Knit me some socks, Miss Worm. I'll send you my address. Knit me some socks. I can't knit socks, but I can do leg warmers. I mean, surely if you can knit leg warmers, just cut the feet off and you've got socks, right? That's the same thing. I'm not even going to highlight your comment, Brian. Jesus Christ, we're degrading. KK says, my speculation is once Iran goes to war with Israel, as well as Russia issues, it'll be inevitable. There will be shortages. Yeah. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way, but I'm so surprised that the fuel prices are currently going down in the UK. Don't know what that's all about, because all signs say they should be shooting up. Now, it could be the calm before the storm. You know, I've seen it where they drop the price just before a big hike. So it doesn't look as bad because it looks like it's back to what it was, but it's not. It's 20p more. So it could be that, but they are going down at the moment, which is interesting. I did expect the opposite. And the last nuke station that got melted didn't really affect us. Is that Fukushima? Send me your address and I will. There you go. I'm going to hold you to that. I want some socks. I can Viking knit. What's Viking knit? Russia and Saudi are flooding the market with oil. There we go. And gold has gone over £2,000 an ounce. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But it all just screams upcoming economic collapse to me. I mean, I don't know. Without fear mongering, that's just what it feels like to me. Are we talking about Chernobyl? All right. Yeah, well, I thought you were talking about the Japanese one. But yeah, Chernobyl makes a cool. It's the habitability of the place afterwards. That's the longevity damage, isn't it? So if something like that happened over here, it's how much of an area would we lose for habitat for a good length of time. I like it, John. I like it a lot. I've bought LPG stickers to put on my cars and attempt to have fuel thieves pass over my car if things got bad. Might work. Now, one step further, John. So we all know I've done the terrible thing of got an electric car, but what if you got number plates with the green side on? And what if you hid your exhaust? We all know you can get bumpers that drop down past it and stuff like that. Now, it's not going to deter them if they hear you driving past, but just parked up on the side, if it looks like an electric one, or they just see them signs. I don't know. There's potential. Fake your electric car. China's flooding the world's steel markets now too. Interesting. Yeah, just building up the stocks as much as possible, get repairs and loose ends finished off. Yes, 100%. That's what I'm doing at the moment. That's why I said there will be less edited content going out. So I can do stuff like this because I can sit here for an hour and procrastinate all the jobs I've got to do tomorrow. But I'm literally, it's got me doing exactly that, building up the stocks as much as I possibly can. All the projects that I've half done, trying to get all them finished and just getting myself into a good place where I know I'll never be fully prepped. I'll never be fully happy unless I've got a fully kitted bunker and all that lot. But at least I'll be in a position where I know if it happens tomorrow, I've got a month, 2 months, 3 months indoors without having to go out. So that's my plan to get to that stage now. Because I've been at that stage, but I've kind of whittled them preps down a bit through storage space. But now I've sorted that, we're back on it. When I started buying gold in the 1990s, it was $600 an ounce. It's been going up ever since. So why does 2000 mean anything different than when it broke 1000? True. It's always going to increase in price. I think it has had a sharper increase than most times in the past. I know it had broke 1000, but it was a steady incline. I think it's just because it's so much of a spike with that and silver at the moment. Hey, Gary, what's up? I hope you're well. We're just coming to the end. Any other questions, guys? Get them in the next couple of minutes because we've been here long enough listening to me rattle on. So if you want to ask anything or you've got any points to raise, feel free to do that now. And we'll have a debate before we go off if needs be. How far away do you live from Colin Furs? Is that the guy that built the underground in his back garden? It looks like a plain back garden, but he's got the big underground. It's not as a nuclear bunker, but it's like his little workshop thing underground. Is that the one I'm thinking of? The inventor guy? Permanent sleep badges. Oh, wrong one. Just ordered the Mylar bags. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. You're talking too fast and clicking on things. US national debt increase of $1 trillion every 100 days is unsustainable. Yeah. But, when the world is running off your currency and you print your own currency, it's just going to constantly grow and escalate. Yeah, I saw that, Brian, that Colin Furze was doing out the front, but I've not watched the videos. I think you mentioned it before. I've clicked on it to watch later, but Steve, yeah, I've gone for straight infantry purely based on location. So the Royal Engineers, there is a Royal Engineers near me. I've considered that. It's a 22-mile drive, but the infantry base for the Duke of Lancaster Regiment is just up the road. And I think the prepper side of me thought, getting back, we all know that I love a long walk, but it would be easier from there. So yeah, I've gone for straight infantry for the reserves. And it's the Duke of Lancaster Regiment. Once I've passed the basic and I'm in there, there's nothing to say I won't take up some trades and courses and move around in there, make the most out of the army while you're in there. You can get your your large LGV licenses and stuff like that. So I am going to try and make the most, but at the moment, infantry. Cheers, Steve. There you go. When the rich and powerful feel their regular investments may not be safe, they put all their money in gold as it always holds its value. Precious metals, that's where it is. Always holds its value while there's a gold standard, right? Because let's be fair, if it was a true Teotihuacan situation, your bar of gold is not worth more than my 10 cans of beans. I marlaed a lot of food in 2012, and I'm going to start using and replacing it now. Ooh, John, that'll be interesting. You have to let us know the opening experience of that, of any that went bad, any that still were fine. I'd be really interested to know the follow-up from that one, John. Kinetic stick training. Yes, you will get kinetic stick training. I love the idea of kinetic stick. But yeah. I'll get pretty much all the training I've already done in the past, but I'll get a refresher course on all that monkey wrench. It's nice to finally see you admit cola's better than Pepsi there, Brian. We'll keep that. So I'll put a star on that. We'll keep that comment saved. There you go. Currently eating oatmeal. I malad bagged 7 years ago, and it's fine. Yes, Lady J. Right. We're talking about Coke and Pepsi now. So that's it. That's me done. Thank you. 50 people in here listening to me ramble on. There was actual news at the beginning. We just devolved into the usual chatting rubbish, as we always do. Quick one on the solar watch thing. I am still monitoring. We're okay at the moment. There is a massive cluster of sunspots turning the crest over the next 2 or 3 days. I'll keep an eye on them. Let you know if anything's there to worry about. Thank you for being in the chat. Thank you to my moderators. Thank you to Miss Worm. Brian's a moderator, but he can't even moderate himself these days. That's what happens in old age, but Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that wonderful stuff that the algorithm likes. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.